road. Tom, I'm going to start with you here. In terms of the impact the Michigan Wolverines, led by Dusty may have in March, what do you foresee?
Yeah, I write a futures column for SportsLine where I do like value every week. Michigan's the only team that's made that column every single week. And so I started a little bit before this winning streak, and my reasoning is they run such a unique system, and what you're looking for in March are teams that are going to give opponents problems. And when you have those 2 7-footers, everything goes through them. I think they're kind of a unique offense. Now, they're winning close games. It's remarkable what they're doing. Every win is by 4 points or less. Now, that will probably run out at some point in conference play. But I think when you get this team in March on a neutral court, they can cause some problems. Got to watch out the turnovers, though. They turn the ball over way too much, and we've seen that in their losses this year.
Larry, your thoughts on Michigan potentially making a deep run in March?
Yeah, I love this team, and there's no way to defend that pick and roll when the 2 7-footers run it. We've seen every team try different strategies, but it's just impossible. And what I really love is their bench. You showed that graphic with those 6 straight wins. In the last 2 wins against Purdue and Ohio State, they have outscored the opposing bench 43-9. That is utter dominance. This is a deep team with a lot of talent up and down the roster. And of course, you have a coach who just took a team with less talent to the Final Four 2 years ago.
All right, Larry, let's talk about a team that is a new entry. I guess it's their second time being in the AP top 25, but let's talk about Louisville now again in the top 25. They're 100-1 to win it all. I mean, I don't know that anybody's necessarily running to bet that number, but in terms of an impact in March Madness, how do you feel about Louisville?
Well, I feel really good about Louisville. It's just another sign of how you can just totally flip the script from one year to the next. This team was 12-52 under Kenny Payne, but all the guys that Coach Kelsey brought in, including some from Charleston, they were all winners. 11 guys on this team played in the NCAA tournament last year. In fact, this is the most experienced Louisville team since Denny Crum took them to the Final Four 45 years ago. So all these guys are winners. Proven scores, 5 guys that average at least 12 points. They shoot over 37% from beyond the arc in ACC play. Yeah, I think they're going to be very dangerous in March.
If you're playing early edge bingo, Denny Crum was going off at plus 700 to be referenced in this Louisville segment. Cash that ticket. Tom Casale, your thoughts on, did I undersell it? I mean, they're 100-1. I mean, can they make a deep run here?
How about Never Nervous Purvis Ellison? What was he on the bingo card?
Yeah, like plus 1,500. Good call.
Listen, I'm with Larry. Listen, I like this team. I don't think they're going to win it all. But again, they're a style that can bother. They can get a couple wins in the NCAA tournament. I know who doesn't like them is pro bettors. They keep betting against them when they're on the road, and they're hammering these teams by 20, 25 points. That's what I like. Like, they're not going to Miami and Syracuse and struggling. They're just beating the heck out of these teams. Mm-hmm. They press, they play fast. What I would look for, the bet I would look for Louisville is this: when the NCAA tournament comes out, you'll have odds to make the Sweet 16. If they get into a nice draw, I think they can win a couple games and get to that second weekend.
That's a really interesting take. I mean, by the way, we're less than 30 days away from Selection Sunday, which I feel like is probably a surprise to most people because, again, football season just ended and it probably feels like we're like 45, 50 days out. No, we're within 30 days of Selection Sunday. Very exciting stuff. A team that's always like on the 1 or 2 line in Selection Sunday, Tom, is Gonzaga. I say Gonzaga. People correct me. I know it's Gonzaga. Either way, this is a team that's really struggling as far as Gonzaga's standards are concerned, but they are coached by Mark Few, and this team usually does tighten up as it gets closer to March. In terms of an impact, Tom Casale, what are we looking at with Gonzaga really 50-1 to win it all right now?
Yeah, well, I'm probably the best person in the country to speak on this because in April when the odds came out for this year's NCAA tournament, I took Gonzaga at 30-1. And I also need them in the final leg of a futures parlay to hit if they win it all. So if Gonzaga wins it all, I'm looking at over $60,000. Having said that, I'm begging you not to take them at this price. Please don't do it. Gonzaga's best win is November 4th. Their first game against Baylor is their best win. Their other 2 quote-unquote big wins are against San Diego State and Indiana, 2 teams who might not even make the NCAA tournament. 50-1. This team, the only reason this team is 50-1 is because they have Gonzaga on the front of their jersey. They should, I mean, listen, I'd rather bet Louisville, to be honest with you. Listen, I had a better chance of finding that 60 grand in the driveway. They just don't have a chance. This isn't the team that's going to win it all. This is not a very good Gonzaga team this year.
Larry, do you agree?
One of the rare times when Tom didn't get the closing line value, got him, I think, in the 30-1 range, and now they're up to 50-1, and he thinks they should be higher. I don't think they're that far away. They're 2-7 in games decided by 7 or fewer points. They just put up 107 in a nice win over Pepperdine. They still get to play the other three top teams in their conference down the stretch. So I could see them getting on a little bit of a roll, improving their seed. Right now, we're talking about an 8 or a 9 seed and probably an early exit, but I could see them improving their seed. They have so much talent offensively, but they can't close games. They are just not executing in the last couple minutes. So I'm not as dire as Tom.
I am fascinated by how some of these big programs are either going to round into form when we get to Selection Sunday or just kind of fall apart. I mean, these are some of the big ticket teams that we expect to be in the conversation when we get to the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight and the Final Four. But we'll see. As Tom said, it's a new landscape across college sports, including college basketball.